Hey, this is Victor Antonio, and today I want to talk to you about asking great sales questions. Now, the ability to ask great sales questions is important when it comes to selling. Let's get into some of the details. Why do questions matter? Now, again, this course is mostly for people who are just starting out in sales or maybe even need a refresher in terms of what to say, what to ask. Now, questions matter because, you learn more about the customer. The more questions we ask, the more we can pull from our customers. The more we can learn from our customers, the more we're able to connect with the customers. Now, this is important. Asking questions is more than just asking for information. It's also trying to find ways to connect with the customers. And we're going to talk about that in this series. Also, by asking strategic questions, you can actually guide the customer's way of thinking or the prospect's way of thinking. In other words, by asking key questions, you can guide a customer to basically arrive at a conclusion that you've already predetermined. What does that mean? If we ask the right questions, we will lead, much like breadcrumbs are laid out, we will lead the customer to our solution if we ask questions intelligently. Last but not least, we can sell more effectively. When you can ask great questions, believe it or not, you will sell more effectively. I always say that the average person practices what to say, but the best salespeople practice what to ask. And this is what you're going to learn in this series. Now, let's talk about why it helps you. When you're asking great questions, you confirm whether or not the prospect is a good fit. In other words, what we want to do is qualify a customer early. So asking great questions is key to qualify early. Why? Because if we can qualify a customer early and maybe they're not our customer, they're not a fit, then we can disqualify them and move on to somebody who is more qualified for our product or service. Also, by asking key questions, it helps you identify their pain points. What is their sense of urgency? Why would they want to make a decision to go with your product or service? By understanding their pain points, you can now present more effectively. You can tailor your presentation to those specific pain points. Lastly, you can get them to talk about why they like or need your product. This is important. When you can get a customer to tell you why they need your product or why they need your service, they're doing two things. One, they're selling themselves on your product or solution, but they're also giving you the keys to actually selling them. When they tell you why they would want to use your product or service, they're telling you why they need you. Now, in this series, we're going to cover 12 types of questions that you can ask during a sales process. They start with open-ended questions, close-ended questions. What are follow-up or follow-on questions? We're going to talk about timeline questions. You can see the list right there. So get ready. We're going to cover 12 types of great sales question techniques that you can use to sell more effectively. Again, the goal here is to ask questions, uncover information that will help us sell to the customer more effectively. Let's jump into the first one.